Hello.
Right, check some
Hey guys. Hey, nice to see you. Hiya, hiya mate. Hiya. Come at once.
My name's Charlie Pickers, and I suppose Barter's Big Band was my own personal initiative, something which I thought about creating maybe 5-6 years ago, and it took a while to find the right musicians, and here we are now 5 years later, about to record their first album.
My name is David Bickers, and I married into the Barter family in 1976. And Douglas then died in 1982, age 72. And the word that came out immediately from everybody was what an inspiration he had been. And that was conveyed through newspapers and film crews coming up the drive, because we didn't have any modern technology at that time. And the word inspiration stuck with us, and it almost gave us something to think about, because in our opinion he died at a very, very young age. And at that particular point we felt we would wish that inspiration to continue. And we thought long and hard on creating two big projects to raise the profile of Douglas's name, to reintroduce people into the name Douglas Barter. And hence the idea was to create Barter's Big Band.
It was a strange day that we all got together, because it was just like we were family and we'd never met one another at all. But we all played together and we got on together, and it was an exciting day. It was just great to sort of feel part of it, and that's unusual.
I really don't know where they've come from. The words got out there and spread, and people have heard about us. And now we have a full range of disabilities, both physical, mental.
So I have otosclerosis. I've also got a macular hole in my left eye. So it's a genetic condition. I'm in the company of Beethoven, if you like, as well. He had the same. So I've been gradually going deaf since I was 25.
I'm ex-military. I have PTSD, but more so I have disability called hypopituitarism, which was caused by the vaccinations that the army gave me just before the first Gulf War.
So I have a disability which is quite unusual. I spent a long time in the military, and from some experiences there and some experiences since then, I have complex PTSD. But before I was diagnosed with that, I was diagnosed with a brain tumour, and subsequent with that, I've got epilepsy, which is aligned to the brain tumour. And I also have a very bizarre condition. I have a severe meat phobia.
I lost my right hand when I was 9 years old in an accident in a butcher shop. And being 9 years old, you don't know what the hell's going on. I think my parents were more worried than I was. But when I was about 12, I went to play with an orchestra in Walthamstow in London, and they put me onto the cello. But when I was about 15, our percussionist didn't turn up, so I had to go on the drums. And I'm still on them.
I've had my visual impairment since I was 6 years old, so I've learned the drums and learned all my music with a visual impairment. I can read drum music, so the visual impairment sort of comes in when we get thrown a new piece of music, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it because I can't read and play music at the same time, even though I can read the music beforehand and sort of understand the music from that point of view. But actually, I've learned playing music by listening to it and then playing what I've remembered from listening to it.
So I always knew, as we started the big band, that it would be beneficial to those involved. But I didn't quite understand just how beneficial. And it's been interesting because as much as anything, it's the camaraderie that's been built between the players. There's a real unique experience of playing music as a group. And I think having that shared challenges that they have, the varied challenges, it just brings them even closer, and I've been amazed just to watch how these people have grown and developed over the years.
It's just a wonderful place to be. The people make it. So the musical ability is wonderful, but as a social group, it's a lovely group of people to be with. That's the most important thing, I think, is that Charlie and David have brought a group of people together that socialise together, whereas some of them might not be able to get out and play in a big band, have the ability to do so. So he's brought the people together, we socialise well, and then we get to play wonderful music.
Being in the band means to me a huge amount because I was really passionate about music when growing up, and although I was never sort of an expert on the drums, I was always very good at playing a variety of different types of music. I'm very adaptable, very flexible, even if I'm not expert in one particular type of music. And because of not getting to sort of at that expert level, music was something that sort of became less and less something as part of my life as sort of life went on and family came along and all those sorts of things. So it's really important to me because it means I can actually get back involved in the music, be around people who are overcoming different but similar challenges, and do something that I have missed for, say, the last 15 years since sort of getting out of music.
Being a part of the band is an incredibly important safe space for me. There's lots of people who are, I won't say sympathetic, but just like-minded to one another's disabilities or one another's little quirks and fables, and we understand that there are going to be times where we're in pain, or there are going to be times when we're stressed, or there are going to be times when we're happy. There's going to be times when we're just hyper or just different, you know, and this gives us a space to thoroughly enjoy what we do, and we do well. I feel we do well. It's an incredible privilege to be in the room with so many musicians of that high standard.
One is the humour, one is the support, because everybody is here for a reason, and it's a nice thing where you're in that group of understanding, and it's a very family thing. It's also getting that message out there that, you know, we're empowered, we're enabled, we have a disability, we all have our own disabilities, but we're still a powerful bunch of people, and we can still send out that message that we can do things. Whoever you are, you can still do it, and if you can't do it in the way you're used to, then there's a way to adapt, and we're proof that you can do that.
Well, the band has opened so many avenues that were closed to me before. It's fantastic to be among a bunch of musicians, or just people that have got similar challenges, similar struggles. You can tend to think you're the only one that's got all this stuff going on. And then you meet people who are even far worse than I am, and you know, they've lost limbs, all kinds of stuff, and you think, wow, actually I'm quite lucky.
Sounds grand, but there's an unconditional love of people who get involved in the band and want to get into the band. You are accepted, and no matter what your background or what your challenges have been, once you're part of the band, you're in the fold, and we will accept you, whatever whoever and whatever you may be. I think also it helps me understand more about how to make reasonable adjustments and how to support people who are in different situations than you, because inevitably growing up with a visual impairment, I kind of think of myself as relatively enlightened on these sort of things, and actually coming to the band has helped me learn a huge amount more about sort of supporting people, whatever their circumstances. And everybody seems to have that same attitude coming into the band, so everybody wants to learn more about everybody else and sort of support people as much as they can do. And that's a really positive thing, because we are coming for the music, and we come because we love playing music, but there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, it's really good. Really enjoyed it.
This is Guy Barker, who's the most of you know, I'm sure. Very lovely to meet you. Sounds wonderful.
I think everything that I individually like to try and bring to the disabled community is to work on changing that misconception that to be disabled is in some way to be less able. Because in my experience, some of the most able and capable people I've ever met have had a disability. So.
When you hear of people with a disability, I think a lot of people get the wrong idea of what a disability is. So you may think that people are incapable of doing things sometimes, or they might be in wheelchairs, but it's not the case at all.
I'd like to think that the band could do anything that's put in front of them, because the musicians are of a very high standard. I've worked with musicians on different levels, and these are top quality musicians who know the trade, who know exactly what they're doing.
It's not a disabled band that sounds all right, but they're disabled, so let's kind of give them a round of applause. It's a good band that happens to be full of disabled people.
When you've got them performing and you see and you go, wow, because it's really impossible to tell that they are any different from any other professional musician, in my opinion.
When people think of disabled musicians, I'd like them to automatically think Barda Big Band.
I think by being there and doing it and actually turning up and supporting all the different things that we do, recording this weekend, doing the film and everything else, and just pushing that message out there to all different age groups and walks of life and so on. So yeah, it's getting that message out there, and I think just being part of it and proving it and doing it, we're the proof.
I think if anyone was honest that is watching this documentary, if I was to tell you we're about to record the UK's first ever disabled big band, they would subconsciously assume that music is going to be in some way inferior to an able-bodied band. And that's not anyone's fault. But that is the general perception. That is a misconception. And that disabled is not less capable. They are an exceptional band who just happen to have musicians which have a disability.
It's all trying to especially us all having some form of disability, we're all trying to get to that stage where we're not looked on as disabled people but as a big band. If we can be accepted as a big band anywhere, then we haven't got a disability. We haven't got a handicap. We've overcome those things.